coming up on the West Texas Bridal Podcast.
When I talk to a bride, I'm like, hey, look, when you meet a DJ, if you don't click with them, if you don't like the personality, don't hire them. And I tell brides, is like, hey, if my personality is not the right personality, don't hire me.
Hey guys, I'm Colby Sandoval, your host of the West Texas Bridal Podcast. And today I'm here with Shawn Peña and Marshall Kidder. Shawn?
Shawn Peña with Platinum DJ.
Marshall Kidder with Executive DJs.
Awesome. Shawn, just to kind of get a little introduction under our feet, what got you into the industry and how many years have you been in the wedding industry?
Well, what got me in it was start off stripping, and I moved up to being the house DJ, and just really enjoyed doing the DJ and not stripping anymore. Nah, just joking, y'all. I just kind of fell into it. I was a bartender at a restaurant out on the patio, and a musician came in, and you'll probably know him as Bo Garza. He recruited me to sell health insurance during the week, so I went to go sell health insurance with him. And while we were selling health insurance, he talked me into DJing during the weekends to make some extra cash. And that's how I got started. I started DJing during the weekends, and next thing you know, started getting more busy. And about 12, 13 years ago, I came up to had a sales job that was going to take me away from home. I called Bo up and told him what was going on. He's like, hey, look, don't take the sales job. Start your own business. Do DJing full time. You're good at it. People like you. You already have equipment. Just do it. So I did. I turned down that sales job, and I just went from there and started doing that full time, quit my daytime job, and that's it. So first time I ever did a wedding, I was 21. I'm 45, I think now. Ooh. Old. I think I'm 45. Yeah. So I've been doing it for 24 years.
That's amazing.
Very impressive.
Yeah. So been on my own for about 12, 13 years where I just kind of did it full time. But before that, it was just a weekend gig. Make extra money and have a little fun. I started off when I was single. So
Awesome.
it was fun.
Marshall?
Nice way to meet ladies.
Perfect way.
Perfect transition into met my lovely wife. DJing her brother's wedding.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice way to meet ladies. That's the only one I ever met. But
Really?
How I got started. So Bo Garza, great guy, love him. Everybody loves him.
Yeah, everybody loves him.
Another good guy in town, Jared Shelton.
Oh yeah, love that guy.
Got to give a shout out. I started working for him under a different company when I was like, I don't know, maybe 16 or so. In high school, I was kind of more of an equipment carrier than like a DJ per se. But yeah,
You're
started
the muscle, huh?
Yeah, and I was, strong. Obviously, I'm ripped.
Yeah, you look it too. You just kept it up.
It was a while before I was given the reins to kind of DJ.
Yeah.
But I was, around. He only really did weddings too, so I was around, weddings at a very young age.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what a lot of people look for is like experience in that specific, especially with weddings, where it's like just knowing the flow of a wedding and how it goes. The music is kind of obviously got to be good at that too, but it's kind of a separate thing. The flow of kind of a wedding, I feel like, is very unique to that kind of event. You know, so I was able to learn that pretty young, and then bought the company from him. They were kind of getting out of it. I was kind of wanting to do more of it. So, Executive DJs was born. I probably had it by myself for maybe 3 years, something like that.
Nice.
So, not as much experience, but was luckily able to start kind of at a young age.
Right.
So I don't know math what that is now, but maybe 11 or so years, 12 years, something like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I will say I'm a little jealous because I didn't get the hat memo. So was that something that you guys planned?
No, this is crazy. Neither of us are cowboys, and I kind of wore it like as a little bit of a joke, but we didn't coordinate, and we're both wearing.
And I thought everybody knew you were supposed to wear a cowboy hat for the podcast. I thought you knew it. I thought you. I'm kind of shocked you didn't know.
Sorry.
I wanted to be bigger on camera, more attention. I thought I was gonna be the only one, so
Yeah.
that's my excuse.
And I just thought you were supposed to wear cowboy hats at podcast, but I thought this
Well, I'm
was
a
dress
little
code.
jealous.
No one knows,
Did you
yeah.
get that memo?
Didn't get the memo.
But it's okay.
Oh man, I forgot I even have my sunglasses on. But yeah, didn't get the memo. Next time I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Next time you know, cowboy
Shoot me a
hat.
text.
You know, I mean, our producer over here didn't even wear a cowboy hat. You should have known about it, man. Little Wesley and Quigley over there.
Can't believe I let you guys down.
There it
Oh
is.
my
I
gosh.
think we picked that up.
Yeah.
So jumping into weddings, can you guys kind of tell me what a day in your life as a wedding DJ kind of looks like?
Well, you know, that's a pretty good question. I wasn't expecting good questions from you, Colby. Come on, man. Well,
nothing
you know,
less.
I think it's really funny. Is a lot of times I get from people goes, "Oh, it must be nice. You only work during the weekends." That's not the case, and I do enough weddings where this is what I do full time. I mean, I'm pretty lucky and blessed that I can do it full time. You know, I put in probably 50, 60 hours a week. You know, working as a DJ. You know, so I mean, everything goes into it. You know, I mean, constantly looking for leads, constantly answering emails, phone calls, text messages, putting together contracts, invoices. You know, I mean, playing the music, like actually playing music is the easiest part. You know what I mean? You know, I had to go through check my equipment constantly, you know, reorganize stuff to make sure everything runs smoothly. You know, I mean, it's just constantly go and go and go. I mean, my own family thinks I only work during the weekends, you know, so it's kind of funny. I mean, it's not that case for me. You know, like I said, this is what I do full time. So, you know, the day of the wedding, it's very stressful. You know, that's where you have to shine. You know, you have to be on 100%. I just get up in the morning, put my pants on one leg at a time and get going, you know. It's early in the morning, I go set up, come back home, rest, spend a little bit of time with the family, then head back up there and start going, you know. So I wish I only worked during the weekends, but it's not the case. I mean, as much time and energy I put in, like I said, I work 50, 60 hours a week just with the DJ part. And I think that's really tough for people, kind of hard to wrap their head around. You know, you being a wedding planner, you know what I mean, doing everything you do. You know that. I mean, it's not just the day of work. You know, I mean, how much time you put in to just getting clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Get your name out. I mean, that's, you know, and I'm a one person, you know, on my marketing team, you know, I'll do my own marketing. I'll do my own counting. You know, I mean, I'm own HR person, and it's crazy. Yes,
literally all the time. So.
HR is crazy. I mean, my wife got so many sexual harassment cases against me. It's not even funny. So it's, you know, so I mean that's what it takes. You know, it's just not.
Yeah.
And I think it's such like a common misconception when it comes to DJing that you kind of just like show up, put your equipment up, do what you got to do, run sound, do this, do that. You're gone, you come back, you know, you turn the tables, do whatever, hit play. But I think that there's so much more back work that people don't know about. So I'm glad that you kind of talked about that and brought that up.
And I'll speak to you know, Shawn's a lot more busy than I am. So it's not as, you know, I wouldn't say that I spend 60 hours a week doing it, but people do kind of have the, you know, I guess, misconception where it's like, you're just playing music, you know?
Yeah.
But you kind of hinted at this. It's literally like a performance. If you are terrible at your job, someone's biggest day is ruined. Yeah. Basically. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's you know, I hate to put it in that category. I hate the maybe term performance, but it's like, it's especially, you know, guys like me and you that are one-man shows where it's you know, if you're off that night or, you know, if it's, you know, you just can't let that happen. Yeah. It's game time. It's someone's biggest day. And like, that is definitely like a pressure that maybe people wouldn't normally see, or, you know, being energetic on the mic and, you know, playing basically like a flawless set, or, you know, obviously it's maybe not every time, but, you know, basically making someone's day fun is a lot of pressure that maybe people don't realize that that's part of it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I tell people like, you know, being a DJ is probably one of the few jobs where when you make a mistake, everybody knows it.
Everybody knows.
You know what I mean? Like it's,
right then.
You know, right then they know it. You know what I mean? Everything else goes, if the florist gets wrong colors, it's the bride and her parents the only one knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the tablecloths are wrong, or if something small is wrong, most of the time it's just the bride, unless she tells her. You know what I mean? Like, so if I screw up, everybody knows. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a big mistake, it's everybody knows. You know, I mean, so that's always kind of like really nerve wracking.
Which never happens.
Never happens.
But the fear's there.
Yeah, the fear's there. And I've been doing this for 24 years. I still get anxious. I got like like butterflies in my stomach all the way up until after the first dances. You know what I mean? I'm a nervous wreck. I'm kind of like, I have to be moving around constantly. So,
which I think is a healthy thing.
Yeah.
You could equate it to like a bunch of, I think a lot of athletes kind of, seasoned athletes will be like, I still get nervous before a game. I think that's kind of a healthy feeling.
Yeah.
Where it is someone's like biggest day of their life. Like, you should be nervous.
Yeah.
To be in charge of that.
Yeah.
I think that keeps you on point. It keeps you like, this is serious. You're having fun, obviously. You want to have fun, be a fun DJ. But, there's a certain level of, I'm in charge of this person's big day. So I think being anxious or feeling the stress of that moment is a healthy
and you're
emotion.
Yeah, and you're the DJ is the pacemaker of the day.
Yeah.
He sets the music, he sets the mood, he sets a personality and everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I think that's something a lot of people really don't get to. Again, it's not just hit and play. It's, and it's when I talk to a bride, I'm like, hey, look, when you meet a DJ, if you don't click with them, if you don't like the personality, don't hire them.
Absolutely.
And I tell brides, is like, hey, if my personality is not the right personality, don't hire me. And it's kind of odd, you know what I mean? But please go hire somebody else if I don't have the right personality. You know what I mean? So, I think that's something that, a lot of people don't get to, so.
Well, and I've always wondered this question, being in the industry for several years myself, is there, after all the special dances, the father-daughter, the first dance, mother-son, all of that, is there a go-to song that is your go-to song for the first song to get everybody on the dance floor and get their feet moving?
Yeah.
I mean, we both got one, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I'm curious to see if it's the same.
Same.
Should we do it at the same time?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
No hands.
Oh, no hands. Yeah, that's a good one. Reason I do cha-cha slide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the reason why I do cha-cha slide, it's family friendly, right? It's a line dance that everybody likes. It's the song that it's almost like a warm-up song, you know what I mean? Yeah. But everybody likes it, and it gets people out there on the dance floor. That's like my first song. And again, the reason why I love No Hands. I play No Hands all the time. I like to play it closer to the end of the night, just because
it's not an off the rip one. It came to my head too early.
So
Cupid Shuffle is great.
Cupid Shuffle is great. Is another one.
That when the Spotify list comes out of like your top songs of this year, like every year, my number one song is Cupid Shuffle because I use Spotify for my DJ stuff. So
yeah, and it should
have been my answer, but
yeah, and that Cupid Shuffle is another one of them. I call them my no-brainer songs, right? Yeah. I have I have kind of like this. I call it wedding tools, and it's like my no-brainers. These are the songs that I know majority of people will get out to dance.
Yeah,
Cupid Shuffle is on it. Cha-cha slide, the wobble, YMCA. And I try. Even though they're cheesy songs, guess what? They're cheesy songs and popular songs for a reason, because people like to dance to them, right? Absolutely. So that's one of them. That's kind of my first song I usually get going. Cupid Shuffle is a little bit more. Again, Cupid Shuffle is a great song. I'll start off with it too. Most of the time it's Cha-Cha Slide because the little kids could dance to it. The older aunts can dance to it.
Everybody loves it.
Everybody loves it. So I mean, I hate the song, but but it gets people.
Hate the song. Got to. Yeah. Even if it's a very good song, if you've heard it about 500 times, it's kind of less appealing.
Yeah. It's less. Of course, I mean, how my whole deal is, I'm kind of like, man, I hear this song all the time. Then I have to realize it goes majority of the people at a wedding, they go to a wedding maybe once or twice a year, maybe. You know what I mean? How often are they at the bars, clubs? Most of the people guests, they don't go to that many weddings, right? I mean, you're going to get invited to family, your friends, you know, but it's not like you're going to a wedding every weekend.
It's like the perspective is skewed for us because we're there every
And
weekend.
I was just about to say, I think
It seems like an overplayed thing, but it's probably not. Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'd never even realize that or put myself in that situation because I'm so used to being at weddings or events all the time. Every weekend we have stuff going on. But I guess I never realized that everybody isn't always going to weddings like we are. So
It's weird to think about because all
really
we have is our perspective. But yeah, I think that's right. Maybe a couple weddings a year, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm trying to think of last time we got invited to a wedding, and it's probably been 4 years. You know what I mean? Me and my wife. Of course, so we're older.
You have a season too where a lot of your friends and people your age are getting married that you may be in or be at. But then there's like a lull. I feel like later.
Yeah.
Or there's second go rounds.
Second go rounds, yeah. Yeah, and also I remember when I got married, I had 10 friends get married like in a 3-year time period. You know what I mean? We were getting invited to weddings all the time. And I was in like 3 of them. My wife was invited to several of them. And it was just kind of really, she was in her sister's wedding, But then after that, we rarely ever get invited to a wedding.
Can I interject a question? I'm just thinking about this now. How do you feel whenever you're attending a wedding that you're not DJing?
Oh, dude, it's been so long since I've actually attended. Man, and honestly, nowadays, if
It's like you're about to cry.
yeah, I'm like, God, nobody loves me enough to invite me. And most of the time, they want me to DJ the wedding. Hey, will you DJ my wedding? And
Oh, right.
yeah, so. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've even been invited. I do for a while there. Me and my wife used to crash weddings when we first started dating because we were broke. You know what I mean? And I had several,
like eat and drink or
yeah,
what?
yeah. We would go out, dance. We'd crash a wedding. I had several friends that were DJs. Bo Garza was a good friend. So whenever he had a good wedding, I had another buddy who was a musician and was in a band. So anytime he did a big wedding, like he would say, "Hey, dude, you working?" And if I wasn't working, like, come on out, Or I had other friends that were DJs too, and like, hey, I'm doing this wedding. It's gonna have good food, drinks. If you're not working, come on out. So me and my wife would like go crash wedding, and me and my wife crashed a wedding about 2 years ago. There was a Saturday that
just out of like nostalgia.
We're like, hey, let's go. Yeah, just for fun. It's fun.
Drop the kids out.
Yeah. I highly recommend it. If you could crash a wedding, go crash a wedding with a married one. So
Absolutely.
but like I didn't know anybody there, so. But I knew like the people working the wedding, but I didn't know
the people
getting married. What was really funny is I didn't know the photographer. Me and my wife were out there dancing, having fun. And the photographer was like, "Hey, I want to take your photo." And I was like, "No." I was like, "We crashed this wedding. We don't know anybody here." The photographer was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. We don't know anybody here."
Did you have like a to-go story? Like if someone asked you, like, "Why are you here?" Did y'all have like a
I was just like, well, who do you know, the bride or groom? If they said the bride, we'd say the groom. You know what I mean? So that kind of deal,
But usually they would ask you maybe.
Yeah.
So if they were like, do you know the bride or the groom? You're like, who do you know?
I'm just like, hey, Dave, Shawn. I just kind of started talking to them, kind of like ignore the question, then I'll ask them. You know what I mean? So but I never had anybody ask that. I had people ask my names and stuff like that. Where are you from? You know what I mean? But nobody really asked if I knew the bride or groom or, what are you doing here? It was mostly just, hey, how's it going?
I've never even really thought about it, but I've only had one wedding crasher, and it was a guy that came up, and it was like kind of like a nice wedding. He came up in like gym shorts and like a tank top. Oh yeah. And was like, "Can I get the mic?" And I was like, I was kind of like, "What's going on here?" But I thought it was maybe like a joke, like it was like an uncle or something. So I was kind of getting it ready or whatever, and someone came up and grabbed him, and it was at I don't want to say the name, but like a place really close to the Tech baseball field.
Yeah.
And he was just a fan that just had walked over into this building.
That's funny.
Wow.
So barely didn't give him the mic. I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, that's the only time I've ever but I've never thought about it either. Maybe there is
Yeah.
quite a few at it, all of them that we
Yeah.
did. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we dressed up. Me and my wife, we'd even bring a gift too. So
Bring
we'd
a
bring
gift.
card.
That's going deep.
Yeah, we'd have a little cash in it, you know. I mean, we'd say. And now, I mean, when we were broke, we didn't do it because I mean, we could barely afford
Yeah.
to go out to eat drinks, you know.
Just
but,
bring like a wrapped box and nothing in it.
no, we'd bring a card, you know.
Yeah.
We'd like put our first name, you know, and like some cash in it, you know. So
That's fun. No, I love that. I mean, you're crashing a wedding, but you're
Yeah.
still
yeah,
giving them a gift. So that's nice.
Very cool. I've never done that.
yeah,
I
yeah. I mean, hey, once you take your wife, go crash a wedding. I'll let you know a good one to come crash.
Okay. Well, let me crash one of yours.
Yeah, let's do it.
If we get in trouble, I'll be like, I know the DJ.
Yeah, yeah. Just y'all can pretend like, hey, we're here to check out the DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was always a kind of our plan was like, hey, we just came to check out the venue and we're engaged or something like that. That
We
was
just thought
one
we
of our
could come
plans.
to your
Nobody really asked, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, I mean, there was one time I was taking shots with the groom at the bar at a wedding I crashed, you know? So,
I mean, that's
we
pretty
were-
cool.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, we
cover.
were just kind of like joking around at the bar and next she goes, hey, let's take shots. I was like, all right. So,
Cheers.
sure. So, I mean, we're having fun. So,
When you guys are booking clients, do y'all like when they give you a playlist? Do you kind of like doing your own thing? Where do you guys fall in line with either playing a playlist that's provided for you or just kind of
yeah, I highly suggest, you know, give me something to get an idea of what music they like. Because, you know, everybody's music taste is different. You know what I mean? So when when a bride books me, I send out this wedding questionnaire. It asks like what songs you want played, what songs you don't want to be played. It'll ask like first dance songs, everything like that. Then I'll meet with them a couple weeks before the wedding. We'll sit down, and a lot of times they'll have they'll kind of have a playlist. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, share it with me off Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. So they share it with me, and it gives me an idea of what they like, you know. And when I'm DJing, you know, I'll put slide their music in where it's appropriate. You know what I mean? Like if they have a lot of slow songs, and sometimes you'll get these playlists where it's just nothing but slow songs. I usually play it during dinner time. You know, once the dance floor gets starting, I'm the kind of DJ I want to keep it upbeat and fun the whole time. I don't like playing a lot of slow songs.
yeah, for sure.
You know, because I want the single girls, you know, and the guys out there dancing, you know, having fun. You know, so that usually, even like the two-step, and I try to keep it upbeat. I throw in a couple slow two-stepping songs, but you know, I've been to weddings, crashed weddings where it was slow music. They were no fun.
And I like that when you get it going, you keep it going.
Yeah.
And you don't like get it going, slow it down, get it going, slow it
Yeah.
down. Because I just think it's a hard transition of like once you slow it down and people sit down, it's hard to get them back up.
Well, so I agree with everything you said. I'll put my own flavor on it. I have a slogan that I tell brides where like I feel like my job as a DJ is being a vibe detector. So like I've done weddings where they want you play this song and this song and this, like, don't get it. You know, you're hiring me to play music. I'm fine to do that. But if you're like, most people are like, we trust you, you know,
Yeah.
your main job is detecting the vibe of the crowd. So, I mean, obviously we both know how to do that, but it's maybe mixing it, taking it, same with requests
Yeah.
that are like in person, taking the requests and, you know, oh, okay, yeah, I'll work that in. But having the like overarching like vibe, you know, I know how to do this. I know like what songs go. So like, I love the suggestions, but we're vibe detectors.
Yeah.
And how do you
So
guys
you know.
feel about requests? Because I mean, people obviously want the song that they want played or whatever, and I
Yeah.
know
It's such
that
a
you
tricky
guys have y'all's
situation.
own, you know,
Like-
playlist, and the bride and groom give you a playlist.
Yeah.
So how do y'all go
Not-
about taking in-person requests?
90% of the time, it's Cupid Shuffle, the Wobble. For
Yeah.
me, it's or the Cha-Cha Slide. Some song that's really big.
And we've
it's,
usually
you know,
already played it.
Yeah, you know, or it's going to come up pretty soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like and if it's a bad request, I just pretend like I don't have it. You know what I mean? I pretend like, oh, I can't get it. You know what I mean? Or I act dumb, you know, for the bride's sake. And a lot of brides, that's what they want. They're like, you use your best judgment on it. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes they'll request music like it's on that do not play list. You know, I'm playing for the bride and groom. I'm not playing for the guest. All right, I'm playing for them. I'm making their night what they want. So, you know, request is just a request. I don't have to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of do. I look at requests as maybes and maybe nots. So
I completely agree.
Kind of touching on like bad request, where do you guys stand on like playing songs that have profanity? Because like you know, there's always people that are gonna want a song that has some cuss words or whatever. Is there a point in the night that clients are like, you know, up until 10 o'clock when we do the exit, whatever, only play clean versions of songs, and then after, you know, a certain time you can kind of open it up and play whatever? What is your guys' stance on playing songs that have profanity?
Well, I feel like we both probably would ask during, you know, we both would meet with a, so I mean, that's always on my list to ask, you know, but I usually, even if they're like, we, you know, play like, you know, the dirty, you know, I usually try and err on the side of caution as much as possible. I want to offend as least amount of people in the room as possible. So
better band than me.
yeah. but if they're like, you know, for sure don't, since, you know, like I said, we're there to play what they want to play, but I always ask in the meeting, and then I usually err on the side of caution.
Yeah. Side of caution is always best. You know, always go off what the bride and groom want. Most of the time, what I try to tell them is, further the night goes in, the more rap, more hip hop I'm going to play. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, you know, if the parents or the older grandparents and the aunts and uncles and little kids, if they stay around till 10:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, they signed up for what's about to be played. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I have brides, you know, tell me, goes, and like when I meet with them, we'll kind of go over, I was like, hey, this is usually what I do. And they usually like that. Like, last hour, let's get ratchety. You know what I mean? Let's have some fun. Absolutely. I want this song be played. I want WAP being played. Let's do it. I'm like, okay, cool. And, you know, and it's usually from that point on, it's, you know, explicit, you know, and I don't have a problem with fitting. I've offended plenty of parents. I did a wedding last year where the bride,
I didn't even hear what you said. You've offended plenty of parents.
But yeah, plenty of parents. Last year I did a wedding where the bride was like, look, I'm going to have kids there all the way up till 10 o'clock, play family friendly. From 10 to 11, she was going to leave at 11. From 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I want to point to you and I want you to play this one song. And it was a Megan Thee Stallion song. You know Megan Thee Stallion. There are no clean. You know what I mean? It's all inappropriate. So she was like, this is my favorite song. Once you play that, we're open. Start playing my playlist of my favorite songs. I was like, cool, done. So I get that song going, you know, and right off the bat, I mean, it's just cussing, you know what I mean, inappropriate right off the bat. And I had a parent come up to me and goes, hey, I just want to let you know there's kids here. I was like, and I just looked at him and goes, yeah, I know. And FYI, it's about to get a lot worse. I was like, if you don't want your kids to listen to this, I highly encourage.
At least you gave him that kind of fair warning.
I let him know.
Get him out of here, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, what do you do? I mean, the bride said at 10
because
o'clock.
ultimately, you're working for the bride.
You are, yes.
Bride.
You are.
So it's also really hard to kind of like.
It's hard balance because even if this is what the bride wants, there's other people.
But you also, you know.
I'm there to please the bride and groom. It's their day. You know what I mean? And let's face it, if you have a 6-year-old and it's 10 o'clock at night, take them home.
That's another. Let's get into parenting. That's
you know what I mean? Like, come on. You know, they're
at 7 o'clock, the sun's out. Okay, I'll play like the clean. But 10 o'clock, so 10 open bar for 4 hours. Why's your kid still? You know,
and you got, and at that point, the bridesmaids, groomsmen, all their friends. They're drunk, they're having fun. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going to happen. So, you know, I'm sorry, parents, if I get it, you want to stay the whole night, but if the music starts getting inappropriate, you don't like it, you know, feel like a kid wants to hear to it, take them home. You know what I mean? I get it. I got kids too. I mean, I don't like playing that music in front of them. You know what I mean? But
unless the dance floor is empty, you really don't have a place to complain.
Yeah.
You know.
Next time on the West Texas Bridal Podcast.
It's a little bit different from a club type of atmosphere. It's definitely a mixture between what you would say like an MC and a DJ, where the main part of one of your duties at a wedding especially is being good on the mic.